Awesome. What's up, Steves? So me and Sarah found this 52-inch rear projection high definition television, 52-inch big screen. Actually, sitting down by the ball field. We came home yesterday and we looked, and it was sitting. What's up, Steves? I'm still getting used to using this iPhone here. I'm on Sarah's phone now instead of my crappy little one. So I apologize if my face isn't all in view or focus or whatnot. As I said before, my computer's shitting out on me, and I can't really edit any videos. But anyway, just to show you what I did, I went through and cleaned all the components inside this TV. Looks like a lot of shit, right? Actually, not that bad once you break it down. And remember how I said I was going to search for capacitors? That's what these things are. All these big round things with the aluminum foil on the top with the little marks indentated in it. And remember how I said whenever you have a bad capacitor, I got this board completely unhooked. These wires are just going to nowhere right now. These all go on here. Anyway, I took this out because I did find a bad capacitor. Can you spot it? No? Okay. I'll save you a couple hours because that's what I spent looking for them. It's this one right here. I don't know if you can tell. I can't really get a good camera angle on it. This capacitor right here is bubbled up ever so slightly, and that's what happens whenever they blow. These things are filled up with gas. The gas will expand when they blow, and it usually cracks the top of these to let the gas escape. It didn't crack this one, but it did balloon it out, so you know it's bad. So this capacitor would have to be replaced. I went to Radio Shack and told the guy that I needed well, according to the side of that capacitor, it's a 220 UF 35 volt fuse, and he gave me one, and I didn't realize it until I got home that it's the wrong style. Capacitors have a bunch of style. This one has the leads coming out of either end. I needed the leads coming out of one end to go down into here. I might be able to use this. I'm not 100% sure on that. Definitely with how close everything is down there, I don't want to, because I would have to literally like put the leads down in it like that and then pray nothing made connection. I don't really want to risk that. I'm going to take this back to Radio Shack and get the right... So hard to judge perspective on this thing. Or depth perception on the screen. But I'm going to get the right capacitor for that, and hopefully tomorrow solder it in place, and then all should be good. The other thing, let's see, that one's still good. That's one of the main capacitors that is needed to turn the TV on from what they call a cold start, which is where your tubes and stuff aren't warm enough to actually start. So whenever you turn your TV on, you hear that, that's your tubes heating up. And then you actually see your picture. That's only a 16 volt right there. I would like to up that to a 50 volt, but Radio Shack doesn't carry that in a 50 volt. So, yeah, this one right here, oh, shit, that one's blown too. So, that sucks right there. That one's blown. This one and this one are blown. That sucks, because this one would be easy enough to replace. This one's a 200 amp. That's going to be a pain in the fucking balls. I didn't see that. So, I'm going to have to order those two. Either way, once I order these two, because, like I said, Radio Shack doesn't carry anything above a 50 amp. Once I order those two capacitors, and I want to order them from a good store. I don't want to order them from like a cheapo Chinese place. Like a cheapo Chinese store. Chinese electronics is actually a real thing, and they suck. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, I gotta order those. Once those come in, I'll swap the bad capacitors out for the good capacitors, and I should have a working TV for around the price of, give or take, $15. That's a 52-inch rear screen projection, high def. I don't know how it's high definition, but it says high def. Oh, I took that board off. RCA HD TV monitor. So, yeah. That's what I'm dealing with right there. Found two capacitors. That sucks balls. Anyway, so, yeah, for around the price of like $10, $15 for the capacitors. I mean, look at this. The screen on it is perfect. It's huge. It's nice and big. It's not as big as my other TV. Not even close. But it is a decent substitute right now, because our other TV, which is another big screen projection, is having a convergence issue, which I never really explained that before. The convergence board that I pointed to in there, that controls these three, or the angles of those three lights to make sure that they line up good and stay lined up and compensate for each other and refocus. The board in my 70-inch rear screen projection TV is going, so it's funny. I have it tuned in as best as I can, using the conveyance option, but it's like towards the edge of the TV is showing in like red and blue lines, kind of like if you were watching a 3D movie without the glasses on. That's what the TV looks like right now, and it's really a pain in the ass. And also the brightness went down a lot, so you can barely see it. So I'm planning on fixing this up and moving it into the living room, bringing the big one up here, and then working on that. I gotta order the parts. Although, in all honesty, the big one would be easier to fix, but with 2 kids in a living room, it's always messy. And we clean it, we do. It's always messy. I don't know between when I tear it apart and when I put it back together will be, and I don't want to leave parts laying around. So I kind of want to do that up here where I can shut everything away. Force a habit, I guess, because every time I'd work at something at home, one of my tools would disappear or something. I'm rambling. This is bad. I don't want to cause a fight. I just want to get this fucking TV fixed and get it in my living room. But, yeah. Anyway, that's all for now. Check out part 3, which is where I will have taken that board out. I would have taken the capacitors out. I would have desoldered them. And when you desolder, for those of you who don't know, you use this wick. You heat up the desoldering braid. Anyway, you heat up the old solder and you put this braid on it, and it wicks the old solder out. I never knew that. That was something new I found out. Like after many tries of trying to unsolder or desolder and resolder computer parts and burning them up because I couldn't get the solder hot enough for it to leak out. Yeah, I didn't know that they have this wick that you just put it on there and it sucks it right out. So that's kind of cool. That was kind of dumb on my part for not knowing it, but I've never been officially taught on how to solder either. So I just go as I, learn as I go. Kind of like this thing. Most people would look at this and go, "Oh, what? Like the original owner, he threw out this big ass fucking TV, and all it took was a little bit of online research and the willingness to tear it apart and look at it to be able to fix it." I mean, I pulled up the entire owner's manual on this. I read down through it. I didn't know how to read schematics up until an hour ago, and then I'm able to fix this now. I know exactly what the problem is. I can go in and I can correct it. All it takes is the mindset of, hey, it's already broken. I can't break it more. Well, you probably could, but breaking it more, it's already busted. Now, I can either A, try to resolder those parts on that board, or B, buy a new power supply board. So that's, a new power supply board I think is like $67 or something like that. So at the very least, I'm going to have a high definition 52-inch TV for $67, minus the cost of the compressed air that I use to blow out the inside. But yeah, that's what the problem is. That's what I'm working with, and I will see you guys later because I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I get like this whenever I get into projects. And I'm using the light on the iPhone to see to the walk to my house. Later, Steves.